What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Kentucky Derby update for January 30th here. And you know when we're doing this, we have shakes in the fantasy league. That's what we started with, and then we do kind of a general update. Jared, you're here with me, and I know why. You're very excited, aren't you?
I'm very excited to unveil my creation, and I'm even more excited, to be honest, that I don't have a horse in the race, so to speak, because I know I would have gotten shit if I would have won the shake because of my creation. So I'm not in either shake. So I'm here just as a designer and creator of this amazing. Everyone, this is gonna be fun.
All right, so we get the shakes out of the way first, and then we talk about the Derby updates. So we used to have a random number generator that would decide the shakes for us. We do not have that anymore. The Wheel of Death.
The Wheel of Death. It's amazing. I mean, the number generator was so boring. It may have been fact. I think Haltern had it rigged, really. But no, it was so boring. It just boom, it's over. This, we get, look how much fun this is. It's like going on The Price is Right every shake.
Everybody loves a wheel.
Right. Yeah, right.
So the Wheel of Death, it is here. It is here to stay. The wheel will be the determining factor for all fantasy shakes moving forward. Okay, let's get to it. Let's spin this wheel for the first time, Jared. Are you excited?
I am. I can't even put into words how excited I am right now.
I can tell. It's coming. It's coming out of you. All right.
I was laying in bed, and you texted us that there was shake. I immediately shot up out of bed. I got the coffee. I'm like, I am pumped for this morning. It's great to be alive. All hail the wheel.
I mean, we need a therapy session, I think, soon, because the things that are getting you excited these days are very different than what used to.
Yeah, that's probably a different conversation for today.
Well, maybe we'll do a live show for that later. All right, let's go. The wheel is here. Here we go. So the first shake, what?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, what is the first? We have two shakes, right? And one's got 5. One's got how many teams?
One will have 3. So
okay.
The first shake will be for Speakeasy. It's a 5-way shake for Speakeasy. He won the maiden special weight on Pegasus Day that has been famous over the years. So a 5-way shake here. We have Dan and Michael, John and Ryan, Vinny, the actual double Ds. That's Paul, myself. So those are the 5. Now, here's the deal. Vinny has first preference for a different horse. So if he wins the wheel or the shake here, we'll actually spin it again, because Vinny will only take Speakeasy if he doesn't get another horse that we'll spin for next. So Those are the rules. Here we go. Are you ready? Are you ready for the spin?
Way to make a fun wheel spin complicated.
Here we go. It's going to spin for 30 seconds. That's right. We wanted to enjoy it. So
I feel like we need music to go along with this. Like do 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 do.
We do. Here it comes.
Oh, here we go.
Here it comes. I think it's going to be.
Oh, is it going to get to you? Is it going to get to you? Come on. Come on. Look at that. Look at that. This is, people are totally going to get, you're going to get hammered for this, by the way.
So I won. I can't believe it.
Dude, I thought I was going to stop on Dan and Mike. So
I did too, but it did stop on me. So I have gotten Speakeasy, and I will be dropping El Capi. So El Capi will be dropped, and I will actually get Speakeasy. To be honest, to stop the rigged stuff, I don't. Here's the deal. I have 5 horrible horses I project on my team. Like 2 of them are hurt, 3 of them, So I just have to start getting horses. I don't 100% believe in Speakeasy at this point, but I need a horse. And he got 100 buyer, but I don't really care about that. I think that's kind of a BS number. I mean, he didn't look bad, at least, right?
Yeah, I mean, and especially in your case, I mean, really all of our cases, honestly, but you need a horse. You just saw a pretty damn impressive Pletcher debut. You're getting into February now. So it's like, you kind of have to make a choice at some of these horses like that. If you're going to go that route as far as a maiden special weight winner, you're going to have to make that decision here pretty quick.
Yeah, and that's just it. And I think, you look at the history of the maiden special weight there on Pegasus Day. It really was more hype than anything else until last year. Mage won that race, won the Kentucky Derby. So, he did kind of show it's been done. So, yeah, yes, Travis, I don't know if I said it, but I am dropping El Capi here. Obviously, he's out. And look, I read in the article they were pointing for the Saudi Derby. So it's like, I don't know, maybe he wasn't even a Derby horse anyway, right? So, yep.
I think
all right.
We can
wait.
Let's wait. We can talk about the new additions here after the. But yeah, okay. I think it's a good opportunity to talk. I have a few things. Like I think it's interesting that just the time of the year we're at. Like with, I always look at mid-February is like the Justify cutoff, right? When he debuted, it's like you can't get much into February if you haven't debuted before things are going to be. I mean, because he had to go everything perfect, right, to get into the Derby. So, well, and technically, maybe he didn't even get in the Derby. So, anyways, another story.
Well, all right, let's do the shake for this one, and then we'll kind of get into some of that, what you're talking about. So there's a 3-way shake for Just a Touch, Brad Cox horse that was pretty impressive at Fairgrounds on Saturday when nobody was watching. So I'm going to go back, and I'm going to try to get 2 horses here. So I will be in this. John and Ryan will be in this, and Vinny. All right. Let's spin it again. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. It does make like the tiniest little like beeping sound when you do it, but we'll make music for it next.
Fair.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. Oh boy. People are gonna.
Oh no,
not me.
No. Looks like it's gonna be Vinny.
Vinny. Are we still going? And stop.
Woo! Vinny. 2 wins here. John and Ryan did not win either one, which when we were testing it before we hopped on air, they landed on them every single time. You didn't get both of them, so it's perfect.
All right. No, I did not. So Vinny gets Just a Touch. He will be dropping New King. He was awful in his last race there at Santa Anita. So New King for Vinny. We'll actually get one more claim. The John and Ryan team put in for 3 horses. They did not win either one of the shakes. So unfortunately, this will be a non-shake claim, but they will get Victory Avenue and drop Exploration. So Victory Avenue, who was actually second to Speakeasy, they're going to get him. So, all right, that's it. I'll take the wheel away. Don't worry, it'll be back, Jared. Don't worry. We'll bring it back.
So just speaking out loud here and maybe speak it into existence if Magic is watching. He probably isn't. But we need to, the Price is Right. I know you can hear it on your end, but like we need the Price is Right. The wheel. We need that sound effect going in our thing there because it's definitely the music part we need to add. But hey, great start. Miles better than the old way. And it's totally random. So it's if people want to, I know they're giving you shit, but it's a website that you go to and you plug in some names and that's it. So
yep, that's right. I mean, it's a lot of fun for sure. So to recap, Speakeasy for me, I drop El Capi. Vinny gets Just a Touch, drops New King, and then John and Ryan, Victory Avenue, drops Exploration. All right, let's get to the main kind of course of this thing. Bob Baffert's keeping all these horses, Jared. I've got a video coming out soon. Magic's got a video coming out soon. Let's get your thoughts on the news yesterday. No horses leave Bob Baffert's barn, which means all of those horses that look very good, no Kentucky Derby for them.
I mean, you and I, we've always talked about it privately. We're in the same boat with this one. I mean, it's just kind of like, I was hoping this would happen. I was hoping he wouldn't switch any over, and just to be like, you know what, fuck you, like
Yeah.
fuck you and fuck your Derby, and we're just gonna stay put. It was a shitty situation to even put the owners in, as far as making this. I mean, regardless of what you think of Bob Baffert, to make them say, hey, I got to make a choice. If I want to be in the Derby, I've got to leave him and go to whoever. It was an impossible situation for these guys, and I don't really blame them for staying put, especially a lot of these owners who've won the Derby right before with him. So I was a little shocked that a couple of them didn't go somewhere, just, because he's got so many. But I kind of love the fact that they all stayed with him. And, that, like, I was thinking about it this morning before we hopped on air. There's 3 or 4 spots, right? 3 minimum probably, but 3 or 4 spots that are now open, let's just say, in the Kentucky Derby starting gate because of this decision, right?
Oh, 100%. I ranked the top 20 horses last night after we finally got the news, and it's like, oh God, this is bad. There's going to be some horses in here that aren't very good. But I think, to get back to the Baffert thing, this is 1,000% on Churchill Downs, period. Yep. Whether you agreed with the disqualification or the punishment or whatever, I mean, you can debate that. And I respect your opinion. If it's different from mine, I don't really care. It's a debatable thing, but it was over, right? It was done and over. They put a 2-year ban on him. He served the punishment.
Yeah.
This was over. We even said after the Derby, it's like, thank goodness we can just move on, because whether you love him or hate him or whatever, and trust me, there are plenty of people on both sides of that. We hear it all the time, but it's done. We can just forget about it and move on. And then you come out of thin air and you just say, hey, no, he can't run this year either. And it's just like, I think his owners, some of them had switched in the past, I think they just kind of looked at this like, this is nuts, and we're not going to do this anymore. So I give the owners credit. I think the blame lies 1,000% on Churchill Downs. I supported them for trying to punish him. I don't really think their punishment really accomplished what they thought it would. And I was surprised by that as well, to be honest. But now these owners have kind of just said, look, we don't care about your race. So this is all on them at this point.
Well, I mean, isn't it, just like in our legal system, it's like you serve your time, and you're eligible to have a new start, right? Like, you serve your time, whatever you did, but after that, you should be allowed to get back into society and try again. And what they've done is, okay, yeah, he served his time. Whether you agreed with it or not, he did. The time they gave him, he did. And then they're like, oh, wait, hang on. Basically, because you're fighting this so much, we're going to add another one.
Yep.
And frankly, we don't know. Like, maybe there's another one added. It's bullshit, really. I was totally like, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I was one way or another as far as Team Baffert, Team Churchill, but I was like, this kind of like, okay, we did it. And now I'm like, okay, you're like a bully, like you're kind of hitting him while he's down kind of thing. Like, just move on. Right. I don't know. It's just weird to me.
No, 100%. And I don't want to get into the whole, it should have been longer anyway, or, oh, they screwed him, it shouldn't have been any time at all. That's the point of the whole thing is it's all over with. It should have been all over with. So, yeah, I mean, I don't really know what to say. What this means specifically, it's just the Kentucky Derby. He can still run in the Preakness. He can still run in the Belmont. All the preps leading up to the race, he can still run in all of those. His horses just won't get points. But that, they can still get purse money and everything like that. So,
Let me
which is
ask you this though, because we
Mhm.
kind of saw this last year. Well, we've seen it the last couple of years, but with the points, right? Because
Mhm.
of them running. I mean, let's be honest. These horses are going to run at Oaklawn. They're going to run at obviously out west, right?
Yep.
And small fields at that sometimes out there. So it's like you're taking points from horses getting in. So it creates a little bit of a log jam in terms of what do you do, whether you're running against him, right? If you're out west, do you run somewhere else? Because now those points aren't really eligible for you anymore. If you think his horse is going to win, which a lot of times they do. So, what do you think about the logistics of it all as far as the other horses go?
It's going to be interesting, and people in the comments are saying the same thing. Kind of screws those
Yeah,
horses.
exactly.
Do those, like you just said with the logistics, do some of those California horses ship and just let Bob Baffert have it? I mean, probably that's not going to happen, even though like logically you'd think that might. It really has never happened. It's a great question. I don't know. And again, I it's one of those things. This shouldn't have to be a thing. This has been a thing for 2 years, and it was awkward then. Now it's even more awkward because more of the horses have stayed with him, right? So,
Right.
and another thing that's really going to change. Uh, he in the past has been able to. He's had to give up the horses before the 50. Well, the first year he could run in the 50-point races and not the 100, but last year the 50, 100-point races he couldn't run in. Now all those races are fair game. So it's like he in the past he's been stealing like 20s, right? He's gonna be stealing 50s and 100s this year. I don't know what's going to happen.
Well, I know, like say you have like a San Felipe or something that's got 6 horses in. I mean, it might be have more, but 6, and Baffert's got 3 of them. Well, I mean, it's 50 points to the winner. I mean, let's assume. I mean, it's pretty obvious, right? Most of the time, if he's got a 3 in the race, one of them is going to be like 4 to 5, and so if that horse wins, there's 50 gone. And then someone asked, like, they're just gone. Like, it isn't like go like it's hurting these other guys because they can't get those points. Like almost becomes not possible, right?
Yeah.
And it's not like it's like, okay, if the horse finished third, it was not Baffert, now he gets 50 points. No, it's not. It doesn't work like that. And so it works like the exact order. And so those points basically just get erased, which also has a bigger effect in lowering the total points to get into the Kentucky Derby, right? Because now there's less points eligible to get, you know what I mean? Like as far as possible, I guess. So yeah, it creates kind of a trickle down effect. And you would think too, just real quick, like if you're Churchill, wouldn't you just be like kind of over it? You're like, let's just move on because this is a pain in the ass.
Yep.
I mean, are they just so terrified of the fact of like this guy coming back to Churchill and winning the race? That, you know what I mean? Like that it's just would be so bad for them.
Yep. It's Jordan D's on fire. Everything you're saying makes total sense. Churchill Downs created this problem themselves. They saw it play out the last 2 years. They saw the awkwardness of it. They saw how it's weird for the fans. It's weird for us as handicappers. It's weird for everybody. It's weird for owners. They saw all of it play out. And then they said, you know what? We'll do it again this year.
Yeah.
There just wasn't a need. And I get it. I think they assumed with that 2-year punishment, he wouldn't get any 3-year-olds that were good enough for the Derby. They'd all, because their race is so important that they would all kind of go somewhere else. And I kind of thought that would be the case with a lot of them anyway. But you had the proof right there in front of you that didn't happen. So why make it even worse? I mean, it was a crazy decision. Churchill Downs and the people in charge of this situation should be absolutely embarrassed. They're not going to be.
Yeah.
Because it's clear they are not tuned into what's going on. Like they're not self-aware. They should be this is embarrassing that they've created it out of thin air now. I mean, it's nuts, but anyway.
Well, you have at least, not to keep, well, that's a bad way to say it, beating a dead horse here, but not to, I mean, like you have so many factors or so many horses that are, like you mentioned earlier, that are players that are Bob Baffert. Muth is one, obviously nice. Nisos, that's another. Like, there's two that are legit horses. I mean, there's probably 4 or 5 that you can name that you could say, well, that horse could probably win the Derby. And now they're just gone. And which is gonna, and like Rodney says, like, it waters it down. And it's
Totally.
true. I mean, of
Mhm.
course it does. Like, I think you're totally right, because I mean, whatever you want to say about him, his horses are better. They have won a bunch of these,
Mhm.
I mean, it's just, don't we want the best horses in the Derby most of the time? I feel like. So it's just, we're not
Yeah.
getting that with this. And yeah, I mean, again, to end this, like, I get it. Like, I know why he was punished. I'm not arguing the fact that, like he committed a crime in horse racing and they punished him. Okay, I fully on board with that, but let's move on.
Yeah, and like Tara Kersey says, she's from Kentucky. They don't want him back. Okay, I get it. I totally understand that. I agree. He lied. He's not that good of a guy. I'm not a Baffert fan. I want to make that very clear. I don't like Bob Baffert. But Tara, here's the deal. If Churchill Downs would have gave him a lifetime ban or a 5-year ban or a 10-year ban at the first, great. My problem becomes they gave him a 2-year ban. And now they're just adding things out of thin air. It's not right to do that. I don't trust him. I know he's a cheat. I think he's still cheating. You gave him a 2-year ban. That's what it should have been. They gave the punishment out. That was the end of it. That's the whole point of the whole thing. We're not sitting here saying, I love Bob Baffert and I'm not watching the Derby because he's not. No, that's crazy to say that. We're all going to watch it. We're all going to bet it. But you gave him the punishment. It's over.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Like, if you didn't want him there forever, just ban him forever. And then I wouldn't be sitting here saying anything because that was the punishment. I mean, you can debate if that would have been right or wrong, but at least they followed the rules they set. That's the problem. They had the ability to set the rules, and they set them, and now they're not following them. I don't care if it's Bob Baffert or, like you said, a prison sentence or this or that or the other. That's when it becomes a problem. That's when it's not right to do it.
Well, it's just another example of why, it's like, well, we want to be taken seriously as a sport in horse racing, and we do this shit. It's like, can you imagine this? We've talked about this on Blinkers Off, where it's like, whatever, like, name a player. Mahomes is suspended for 3 weeks because he, was positive for enhancement, or I don't know, whatever. Week 3 comes around, he's eligible to return, and the NFL says, well, hang on. You've kind of been a dick about this. You've been fighting, like, we're going to add 2 more weeks to this just because we can. Like, can you imagine the uproar? What would have happened? It's impossible. That's not a scenario that is possible. It's not even plausible. So it's like, because I'm saying that, and you guys are thinking, wow, that's laughable. And that's really what happened here.
In a nutshell. I mean, try to put yourself in the shoes of somebody that is getting this done to them, right? Like, let's say we had to suspend Magic a month because he said something on air he shouldn't have, which that's very possible. That could happen.
That is possible, yeah.
Any day. Probably should have already happened to him. So we suspend him a month without pay, let's say, right? And he's ready to come back. And I say, let's go 3 more weeks. And then he's ready to come back. That's another month. Like, you're messing with livelihoods at this point. And I know that the point, like, you're going to, the comeback to that is, he doesn't need the money, or, he can run in all these other races. Yeah, true. But still, this is still the big one. Those owners would rather be there. I mean, come on.
Well, let's just be glad we don't drug test here at Racing Dudes. All right.
Well, we don't.
Hey, real quick, but like to kind of push that aside for a second. To talk about, I wanted to, as far as your claim goes, talk about your horse that you claimed today. The kind of the big 5-way shake there we had with Speakeasy. What are your thoughts? Because some of my thoughts were, the horse was impressive, but the horse was 8-1 on Saturday. Was not even the second choice, third choice. Yes, the horse looked good, but where are you at with that? A horse is not even hyped, and then the horse wins like that, and obviously you went on board with them. And two, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, it's like we are getting into the danger zone, so to speak, for these maidens, right? Because it's always flashy in our league, especially to find that maiden special weight guy, the horse that flashes, and you're like, I want him. But now you're getting into February. You're not, obviously, we just talked about it. They're not trained by Bob Baffert. You got to be careful as far as how what they're going to push them. So, what is your kind of mental time frame as far as when you okay, I'm just going to avoid this maiden special weight altogether when it relates to the Kentucky Derby?
Oh, I think, say, the cutoff's a couple of weeks away. Probably you're going to have to cut it off for sure, and everything will have to go right even now to get him to the Derby. I think with Speakeasy specifically, he could still get there if he's good enough, but I don't know if he's good enough. I thought it was a really good race. I watch it and I go, well, you never really thought he was going to lose that race at any time. Like, he stalked the pace. He kicked clear when they asked him to kick clear. He did everything right. As far as the odds, yes, 8-1 on a Pletcher IRAT is alarming. However, this Victory Avenue horse, everybody thought was the next American Pharaoh. They were hyping that horse up something crazy. So he took an insane amount of money. Then Tacitus' brother was in the race. He took too much money. Shug was talking really high about one of his horses. He didn't take all that much money, but he took more than he probably should have. So there are reasons the odds were a little bit inflated on Speakeasy. And also, Jared, I don't know if you paid attention to Gulfstream. The odds were nuts all day. I mean, not one of the most surprising odds I've ever seen on a horse in the history of me following the sport happened at Gulfstream Saturday. So all that combined, I'm not overly concerned that the horse was 8-1. I'm just more overly concerned that you watch it back. And to me, when I watch the replay of Speakeasy, I go, he was good. He wasn't great. That's what I looked at it.
Well, and I mean, again, I'm not bashing your claim whatsoever. I just, I'm curious to know, kind of where your mind, because a lot of times, you want horses, especially IRAD and Pletcher. It's like, well, the horse was even money on debut, and then the horse was favored again. You know what I mean? So it's like, but you do see it a lot where a horse, I mean, the one big thing for me was he wasn't like his Pletcher had 2 in the race. Like, he was at least the one Pletcher of the race. It wasn't like he was the other Pletcher, because a lot, and had not IRAD on. So they went into the race. This was the best of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Pletcher has a lot of horses this year and a lot of options. So it'll be interesting to see what some of these horses do, what he does. We've talked a lot about this on all our shows. When you got guys like Pletcher and you got guys like Brad Cox, which is the other claim that we had today, that you really don't. You have a very fine line, right, with these kind of horses to get them to the Kentucky Derby. Because if there's any, you look at a horse like Nash, right? I mean, that horse is like, they're not going to go any further with that, right? They're not going to push it.
Yeah.
If Nash is trained by somebody else, that's their only Derby shot. You know what I mean? Like, this is the only chance you're gonna see the horse run in several other ones. But you got to be careful with these kind of horses, because one slip and they're off the trail.
Yep. With Just a Touch, it has a couple races, so that probably helps that along. But yeah, the debuters, it's a big problem. And honestly, I think best case scenario, Speakeasy can go win a Tampa Bay Derby. I mean, I don't know if I'm not saying he's going to do this, by the way. I'm saying best case scenario, maybe Tampa he can go to, maybe he can go up to Aqueduct and win the Wood. Those are kind of the races you would kind of think with him. So Pletcher's really good at sneaking horses into the Derby that probably don't belong.
Oh yeah.
And that's why his record is what it is. He runs a lot of horses that probably never should have been there to begin with. So
yeah.
I don't know if this is one of them, to be completely honest, but I know that he's going to do better than El Capi, because El Capi, I don't think we'll see until the summer. So,
Yeah,
there's
that's
that.
True.
So let's wrap it up here. We got 4 preps coming up this week. It is in my my opinion, it matches the Pegasus. I don't know if the people will feel that way, but this weekend is almost just as big as the Pegasus was last weekend for me. You've got the Holy Bull with Fierceness coming back. That field has been drawn. I don't know if you've looked at it yet or not, but I mean, to me, Fierceness looks 1-9 in that race. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I looked at it last night. I didn't see a lot in that race that made me too concerned about Fierce's chances. It'd take a lot to be concerned anyways, but yeah, no, he seems like the right spot for him to come back. And yeah, I, I know it seems weird, but you and I have talked about this. It's like I want to see him back. I want to see him solidify. So for some reason, I just can't quite. I do. I'm not. I think he's the number one horse, but I just need to see that. Okay, that juvenile, that debut, that was all. That's very legit.
Yep. Yep. I think it's going to be fun to kind of judge and hear all the people. Oh gosh, he's lost a step, or oh man, So
Well, yeah, no matter what, because of the field he's facing,
yeah,
it's going to be he didn't face anybody, or it's going to be he didn't look very good. I mean, he won, but look if he's beat. So that there's not going to be.
Yeah,
you're not going to get any answers solved on that race, really.
No, if he wins by 50 links, everybody's still going to hate it. So I'm ready for that. But yeah, going to be very, very cool to see that. The Southwest Stakes doesn't really have a star. It's a field of 12. I called it the hardest prep race probably all year that we'll have to handicap. Have you looked at it at all?
Dude. Well, first of all, it's Oaklawn in a nutshell, but I don't even know, right? Like, because I looked at it and I was like, okay, who am I? Can I claim one of these? You know what I mean? Because I always look at, yes, I love when they draw early because then it gives you the opportunity to know, boom, I'm getting points right off the bat. I was like, I don't even know, right? So yeah, I didn't obviously avoided that one, but yeah, it's interesting that Brad Cox's Awesome Road, who scratched out of the fairgrounds prep, came out over here. So I don't know if that means anything, but Flo is on the mount. So
I wouldn't be shocked if any of those 12 win. I really wouldn't. That is just a wide open grab bag. So we'll see what happens there. All right. Two other races. The Robert B. Lewis hasn't drawn yet. It'll be tomorrow. And then also the Withers will draw tomorrow as well. So we'll start to get the Baffert horses.
Yeah.
Over under 2.5 that Baffert enters in the Robert B. Lewis. What do you think?
Oh, how much can I put? Is there a limit on how much I can bet on the over?
Okay.
Because I think it's going to be like the ultimate 1-2 fuck you, like not only am I not going to, we're going to switch horses, but I'm going to GM the boxes with these horses. No, I'm very legitimately interested to see this race draw, just to see how many are in it.
Yeah.
Which ones are in it of Baffert's. So I am, because it's been kind of hushed as far as just who is pointed to the Robert B. Lewis. So yeah, but I do think it's going to be, Coach Prime, not the Robert B. Lewis. I did see that. I don't know where he's going to end up. He may not. You never know with those kind of. That's what I'm saying. Like, you never know. You may never see these kind of horses again. I mentioned that when I drafted him. So, anyways, yeah, I think the Robert B. Lewis will have over 2.5. Don't you?
I do. Yeah, I definitely do. I mean, Imagination, Nisos, there's ones we forget about that are probably gonna, I think Muth is going Rebel, so he won't be there. I don't know, maybe it'll be just 2, but there's probably
what's in the Withers. Is there any? I mean, that's a tough race, no matter what, every year to have.
Let me look at the probables for the Withers. It's probably, I mean, it will have the worst field, at least on paper. That doesn't mean it'll end up being the worst, but that's one I haven't given any thought to yet. Let's see if I can.
I mean, it's not a race historically that, let's be honest, that you need to be on the radar about, because it's not producing much.
Holy cow. So to that point, Society Man, Uncle Heavy, Mission Beach, Connate, Speed Runner, Deposition, Seminole Chief, El Grande O, and Lightline.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Yikes.
Sounds like an allowance race to me, but I guess Hit Show won the race last year. He was in the Derby at least, but
Yeah, I mean it's not
early voting won the Preakness.
so usually like with these early ones, it's like there's one that kind of stands out. Like drum roll, please. Honestly, like he wasn't a good horse, but when you looked at the Jerome, it's like okay, there's some really bad ones, and this one's decent. So easy pick, right? The Withers usually the same way. It's like, yeah, a Hit Show will win, or like early voting when he was in. It's like he'll win that race. This is like
You don't even have that. Yeah.
Is Lightline the best horse in this? I'm not sure. I don't know. Well, I'm not going to say anything because we don't even know the fields yet. So we'll have coverage of that all week long for sure.
It feels a little bit like you're going to have two very short prices win the Holy Bull and the Robert B. Lewis, even though we don't know the Robert B. Lewis yet, but you imagine it will. And then two very, very possible monster horses or monster payouts prices in those other ones. So, like we will have a Holy Bull betting Bible out this weekend as well. But we'll also be including the other three prep. Obviously, the Holy Bull with it being that the whole Gulfstream Park card will be in it. But we will include the other three Derby preps. Halterman, we both had profits last weekend at the Pegasus. Halterman killed it. Again, thanks to somehow getting almost 5-2 on Warmart, just insanity. But so we'll be back this weekend with the betting Bible.
Yeah, if you want to check out what that betting Bible looks like, Magic and I did a video, Magic edited, of course. That'll be out later today. I kind of just went over the whole Bible, like what you're getting, what it looks like, breaking down, everything that you get. And then I kind of explained quickly about my bankroll from last week. So yeah, it's one of those things. I said it on the video. I really hate when your day is going to come down to one horse. And I knew Warm Heart was going to be that horse. However, that's just what it gave me, right? Like I had to set it up that way. So anyway, there it is. There's
literally just came into my email. So
nice.
I haven't. It might have some. I might need edited. So this is the first round, but yeah, looks pretty good. So there you go. Holy Bull will be available for sale here in the next hour, I'd say, on the website at racingdudes.com. So yeah, I'm interested to watch your video as well.
All right. Well, we're going to disappear for the rest of the day and tomorrow. You will not see us. Why? Because you saw that Holy Bull betting Bible. That's what we'll be working on the next 2 days nonstop to get you the best plays possible. So we're going to get out of here now. We will be back on Thursday for Podcast Thursday, all the shows. But don't text us between now and then.
Yeah. Well, you guys know that, Halterman, he's on air for 12 hours straight on Thursdays. So he's got to get everything done between now and then because he's the face of the brand on Thursdays.
That's right. I'm going to lock myself in my room and just a handicap for the next couple of days for sure.
Are we doing a live show for Saturday? Because I can attend this one. I will not be at Chuck E. Cheese this time. So
yes, live show Saturday for sure. Covering all four of the prep races. We don't really know exactly when it'll be because we don't have the whole schedule yet. But once that comes out, we'll let you know. We'll probably let you know Thursday when we'll be live. But yes, we'll definitely be live on Saturday, 100%. So yes, and we'll be excited for you to be here. So all right,
I'm even more excited. Let me tell you, compared to watching Warm Heart win the Pegasus Turf in the bathroom of Chuck E. Cheese. So yes, I'm excited.
That doesn't sound fun at all.
Sounds like where nightmares are made from, my friend. So
yes. All right. Well, let's get out. I would hate that. Yes. Let's get out of here. Let's see.
You're late. It's over. So
trying to find the outro. All I can find is blinkers off outro here. Let me change to the Magic Mike show here. Let's see if he's got an outro on this one.
See, this is what happens with Magic. He sets everything up, and then when he's not here, it makes it you can't even do it. So
I know there's no outros anywhere on this thing. Let's go back. Let's go to let's
swing tentpole.
Nope, that wasn't it.
No, but I'm glad you played it.
Let's see.
Swing.
I'll just do this one. Okay. See you later, guys. We'll be back on Thursday for more live shows.
I sat through all of that for that
28 minutes.
You. whoever booked that, and I think I know who it might have been, a hearty you. What a goddamn fucking waste of time.